A final farewell. First tonight on Our News, live at 7. The slain former MP, House Speaker, and F&M Deputy Chairman Don Saunders laid to rest in a state-recognized funeral. Parliamentarians, members of the judiciary, family, friends, and party supporters paid their last respects. Also new tonight, Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis advocates for legislative change on marital rape after the Bahamas Crisis Center urges action. Plus, the Auditor General finds the Bahamas Jubilee Games budget was blown by over $1 million. Then in Our News at 7:30, the man accused of assaulting an Office of the Prime Minister employee faces charges but denied the allegations at his arraignment. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. Loved ones, close friends, and political comrades bid a final farewell to the late Deputy House Speaker Don Saunders. Amidst the somber gathering, Saunders' foster father, Father Keith Cartwright, addressed attendees expressing the profound void and lingering uncertainty left by his passing. Bethany McDermott attended today's solemn state-recognized funeral.
The untimely passing of former Tall Pines Member of Parliament Don Saunders drawing politicians from both sides of the political divide to St. Agnes Church to say their final goodbye. In an emotional homily, rector of the St. Agnes Church, Father Keith Cartwright had the difficult task of memorializing not just another parishioner, but someone he called son. Cartwright said the pain of the horrific murder has left a sense of separation, emptiness, numbness, and uncertainty.
Today, dear people, we must come as a people of great hope and great certainty. Hope and certainty in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Now, in his humor-tinted tribute, his brother Anthony Musgrove reflected on his journey with Don from they were children all the way up to his time in politics.
Don, you continued with the social and political fight, never counting the cost. Although you would say to me time and time again, the political and social loads were heavy and demanding, but you never wavered.
Saunders was tragically gunned down in Gambier Village on March 27th. Prime Minister Philip Davis said he and Saunders shared a bond that went beyond Parliament.
As a member of St. Christopher's Church, I was able to witness firsthand Don's as a man of faith, witness firsthand his conviction, and witness firsthand his humility.
Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard adds Saunders lived an impactful life.
Don was a breath of fresh air. He was plenty man. And his voice made a difference.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
All right, thanks for that, Bethany. And an outpouring of grief and frustration at the former MP's funeral as Father Keith Cartwright, during his address, also demanded action on crime and corruption. We've got more in his comments coming up in Our News at 7:30. The discussion on marital rape continuing tonight, with Senator Michaela Barnett Ellis lending her support yet again for a change in legislation. Earlier this week, officials from the Bahamas Crisis Center called on legislators to change the definition of rape as it's currently defined on the books. This comes after Prime Minister Philip Davis said that rape is rape, no matter the circumstances or who is involved. Barnett Ellis agrees, but says it doesn't dismiss the fact that the language should be changed.
The problem we have, and the problem the critics have, is that the definition of rape in the Sexual Offences Act limits what rape is, right? Rape is rape, but let's get a legal definition that defines rape as having sex with somebody without their consent. Right now, the definition in the Act limits it to only where the parties aren't married. So what we want is a definition that means anybody who has sex with anybody else without their consent, that will be rape.
In 2022, government drafted a bill that would criminalize marital rape. It was slated to be tabled in Parliament by the end of 2023. However, Parliament prorogued. The Protection Against Violence bill was later passed. Barnett Ellis says changing the definition in the Sexual Offences Act is not a hard thing to do.
But it is an easy task. They have a draft bill that they can easily table, and let's debate and allow the members of Parliament to vote on it. And if they pass it in the House of Assembly, then it'll come up to the Senate and we'll vote on it. It's like any other piece of legislation. Obviously, rape is not a comfortable topic. Rape is something that is, uncomfortable. It's not pleasant, but we need to address it because it exists.
Thanks, Gandino, and good evening, Bahamas.
All right, before we get to Ian, the Bahamas Jubilee Games under scrutiny as the Auditor General's findings detailed unauthorized expenses, salary hikes, and financial irregularities. With a budget overrun of over $1 million, the report tabled in Parliament highlighted lapses in transparency and adherence to financial protocols. Sasha Lightbourne has more on this developing story in less than 5 minutes, but for now, we go back to Ian. It's time now for your first look at temperatures, and Ian McKenzie, he's in the Weather Center. Ian?
Welcome to your TGIF forecast. Currently outside our studios, we're under a few clouds and breezy. Comfortable temperature of 77, feels like 79. Winds from the east at 8 miles per hour. Current temperatures across the country at this time in our nation's second city, Freeport, we have 76, also in Marsh Harbor and Governor's Harbor, 77 in Allenstown, Great Harbor Key, the capital, and 78 in Nicholstown. In the central Bahamas, 77 in Camps Bay, Georgetown, Deadman's Key, and in Coburn Towns in Salvador, 76 in Arthurstown, Cat Island. For the southeast Bahamas, we have 79 in Duncantown and in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, 78 in Colonel Hill in Delectable Bay, Aucklands, 80 in Matthewtown, 77 in Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana. First look now at our satellite and radar imagery, where we have high pressure continuing to dominate weather across the area, producing mostly dry and stable conditions. Stick around, we'll tell you more straight ahead.
Thanks, Ian. And still to come on our news, an audit of the Bahamas Jubilee Games reveals a $1 million budget overspend. We'll tell you the other startling findings. And the Prime Minister hints at impending talks amidst tensions between government and Grand Bahama Port Authority. The story when our news returns.
Till I had enough. Do you want me now or later? Listen to me now.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one a
The Bahamas Jubilee Games went over budget by more than $1 million, according to an Auditor General's report tabled in the House of Assembly this week. And it's not the only startling find for taxpayers. Sasha Lightbourne explains.
The Office of the Auditor General's examination of last year's Bahamas Jubilee Games found unauthorized salary increases, a misuse of petty cash, a failure to pay National Insurance Board contributions, and unauthorized vehicle purchases. The audit, which was tabled in Parliament on Wednesday, revealed that the operating budget of the Bahamas Games Secretariat was $5.5 million. The government initially allocated $4.5 million for the Games, with just over $1 million being requested by the Secretariat after the event. The findings from the Auditor General concluded most notably that there had been a lack of transparency concerning expenses towards the Games, as well as non-adherence to financial regulations and procedures. The Auditor General also raised concerns regarding unauthorized salary increases for employees, among other irregularities. The 31-page report also criticized the accounting to the Secretariat, noting that accounting records were not properly maintained. This due to missing documentation, financial records lacked certain financial transactions, and profit and loss statements were not regularly generated. The Bahamas Games returned after a more than 20-year hiatus in celebration of the country's 50th independence celebrations. The Games were held July 7 through 15, featured 16 sports disciplines and 10 islands. Reporting for our news, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
Thanks, Sasha. After weeks of rising tensions between government and Grand Bahama Port Authority, lawyers from the two sides set to meet soon, according to Prime Minister Philip Davis. How soon? Well, Prime Minister is remaining tight-lipped on the timeline. His administration and the port, they've been locked in a contentious back and forth over the future of Freeport. It all reached a boiling point when government demanded $300 million within 30 days, or the port would face arbitration. The port has since said it does not owe the government a dollar. When the Prime Minister was asked about the current stalemate between both sides.
I'm not aware of any stance change. I know that the lawyers are now talking, and there's a scheduled meeting to at least settle the basis for going forward, either in respect to how the issues are resolved and the process to resolving those issues. And those conversations are to be held very soon, I'm advised by the lawyers.
And several people have weighed in on the drama, including Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard and Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Fred Mitchell. Pintard questioning why Mitchell was so involved in the ongoing dispute, as it is not part of his foreign affairs ministerial portfolio. Mitchell responded by stressing the importance of the matter being resolved. It's a point the Prime Minister agrees with. He shot down criticism that the public row comes at a bad time.
Who holds time? Who is to determine when is the best time? What I do know is that the state of our country is such that the Bahamian people could no longer afford to subsidize the Port Authority. As I've said before, the government is doing what the Port Authority ought to be doing by the arrangements that was entered into in the Oxford Agreement. And if they are doing it, then what is the role of the Port Authority?
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as G7 leaders warn of new Iran sanctions after an apparent Israeli drone attack on Friday. Plus, just 3 months from the Paris Olympics and organizers now unveiling plans for the highly anticipated parade of countries. Details of the extravagant opening ceremony straight ahead. And Netflix profits soar after password sharing crackdown. The story when our news returns.
I wanna love you till I had enough. Do you want me now or later, 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 later? Listen to it all.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies?
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Eyewitness footage shot on Friday showed military personnel and tanks on guard at a nuclear facility in Iran's Isfahan province following an alleged attack by Israel on the country in the latest tit-for-tat exchange between the two. Iranian media reported explosions, but an Iranian official told Reuters those were caused by air defense systems. State media said 3 drones over the central city had been shot down. A senior official told Reuters that there is no plan for immediate retaliation without clarifying who was behind the alleged attack. Meanwhile, at a gathering of G7 foreign ministers in Italy Friday, United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken repeatedly declined to confirm the reported attack, saying Washington has not been involved in any offensive operations and that it was committed to de-escalating tensions in the region.
What we're focused on, what the G7 is focused on, and again, it's reflected in our statement and in our conversation, is our work to de-escalate tensions.
Israel attacked United Iran land because we were supposed to, we have no other option beside to react. But this is not the way we want it to be. We want to get back to our routine, our life, to run, to live our life. No more war. It's enough.
We're good. You can look around. We're happy here. Not of the attack, but we think the situation in the Middle East is complicated. But Israel will always win, and everybody needs to know that.
I'm very sad that Israel attacked Iran, and I'm afraid what will happen now. What will be in Israel?
Well, I'm not sad.
The Paris Olympics grand opening, set against the picturesque backdrop of a sunset and moonlit river, will span nearly 4 hours, according to organizers. 205 delegations will parade on 80 boats along the Seine, snaking 3.7 miles. The ceremony will feature artistic performances preceding the athletes' parade. 10,500 athletes will pass 320,000 fans on the embankments with giant screens broadcasting the spectacle. While concerns about safety linger due to recent events, officials say they remain optimistic, working tirelessly for the iconic celebration. And Netflix profits surged in the first quarter of this year, boosted in part by measures to combat password sharing. With a whopping 9.3 million new subscribers, totaling nearly 270 million, the streaming giant said its profits soared to $2.3 billion. However, it says it will cease reporting subscriber numbers next year, shifting focus to profits and revenue. While challenges persist, analysts say its original content slate remains a key retention strategy in a competitive market. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was April 19th. Then in our news at 7:30, investigators on Grand Bahama probing the death of a man found floating in a pond early this morning. Plus, from Eleuthera, residents in the north closer to promises of a new airport as the Deputy Prime Minister says shovels will be in the ground by late 2024. When our news returns.
Till I had enough. Do you want me now or later, 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 later? Listen to it
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome back to our news. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was April 19th. Take a look.
On this day in Bahamian history, circa April 19th, 1744, Richard Fitzwilliam died. Fitzwilliam served as governor of the Bahama Islands from 1733 to 1740. Mount Fitzwilliam, on which Government House is built, is named after him. The Historical Society notes in 1737, he originally built his home on the 10-acre estate before it was purchased by the government in 1799, and a residence for the governor was built there. Then, on this day in 1802, Robert Rumer was elected to serve as vestryman of St. Matthew's Anglican Church. The church's website notes that in the early 1700s, as the inhabitants of New Providence grew, they found it difficult to worship in one small place, which at the time was Christ Church, a small wooden building. By 1799, the Legislative Council passed an act to build a church in the east and gave it £3,000 for construction. Upon completion, the total cost was more than £7,000, excluding the steeple, with a seating capacity of 450. The steeple was later erected in 1816 and remains as built to this day. Then in 1861, United States President Abraham Lincoln ordered a naval blockade of the Southern Confederate States of America in rebellion against the United States government. The Historical Society notes the blockade of southern ports by the Union Navy became the catalyst for the era of blockade running in the Bahama Islands. This period lasted from 1861 to 1865 and brought an economic boom to the colony, starting just as the Royal Victoria Hotel was completed. Then on April 19th through the 20th, in 1976, the Bahamas played host for the Carifta Games. It was a first for the country. The games were held at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium in New Providence. Chanel Ferguson, who would later become a member of Parliament for the Foxhill constituency in 2017, leapt to a Bahamian record in long jump that year, winning a gold medal for her performance. The Bahamas carried a total of 23 medals, 9 of them gold. Fast forward to 2012, when then National Security Minister Tommy Turnquest was ambushed by dozens of irate prison officers during a visit to launch a new drug program at what was then Her Majesty's Prison. The Prison Staff Association was working with government on promotions exercise at the time, but members held an audience with the minister to address other issues, including poor working conditions. And finally, in 2020, when positive cases of COVID-19 had just reached 60, with 51 of those cases recorded in New Providence, 7 in Grand Bahama, 1 in Bimini, and 1 in Cat Key. The latest dashboard at the time showed 11 recorded cases and 9 related deaths.
The Nassau Cruise Port continues its push for more authentic experiences through Bahamian art, food, and culture. In fact, the port recently opened a new restaurant. Our Danielle Miller tells us the head chef is the son of a well-known local clergyman.
There is a new restaurant in town, and it's located in the Nassau Cruise Port. It's called Preacher's Kid. Managing partner and head chef of the restaurant, Simeon Hall Jr., is the son of Bishop Simeon Hall. Known for his eclectic dishes, which highlight Bahamian food culture, the menu at Preacher's Kid offers items like Sticky Johnny Cake, Bahamian pork chop snack, or the Stew Crunch.
It feels absolutely liberating, a relief. It's so many things all in one, but we've been at this for more than a year. So it's like, having a baby, it's ready to go. I'm super excited for people to experience, because a lot of people always ask me, I travel the world talking about Bahamian and food culture, and they want to know where they can come and see me and taste my food. Now they actually have a spot, because I have a home base. And so it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Earlier this year, I had his father, Bishop Simeon Hall, in studio for an interview and asked him how he felt about the opening of his son's restaurant. This was the first time his son, Chef Simeon Hall Jr., is seeing this footage.
I get emotional about it because as a young boy, my grandmother, Epsie Musgrove, had a stall right over where my son now will be opening. And it's a testimony. I sold salt and banana and anything you could sell over on that side. And now my son is opening a restaurant on the wharf on the other side. I think that's testimony of the grace of God.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks for that, Danielle. To watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit Our News Bahamas on Facebook. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Up now with latest headlines is Megan Shepherd. Megan, I know you have been actively following these stories at the port. Fridays. happy hour, right?
Yes.
Yes. Have you been yet? Have you had a chance to?
I have not been as yet. I spoke to Chef Hall when he came back from Florida and North Carolina. He's talking about all of that delicious food, and I'm excited to go and sit down and try it.
Make sure you.
I will bring a
invite
to-go
for
plate.
me. Yeah.
There you
or
go.
a to-go plate. I'll take that too.
Happy Friday.
Happy
Enjoy
Friday.
your weekend. Coming up tonight at 7:30, investigators on Grand Bahama. Death of a man found floating in a pond early this morning. Plus, residents in North Eleuthera closer to promises of a new airport. Here are your latest headlines.
A final farewell. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. The slain former MP, House Speaker and Deputy Chairman Don Saunders is laid to rest in a state-recognized funeral. Parliamentarians, members of the judiciary, family, friends, and party supporters pay their last respects. This as an outpouring of grief and anger at the former MP's funeral. Father Keith Cartwright demands action on crime and corruption. Plus, investigators on Grand Bahama probing the death of a man found dead in a pond. And residents in North Eleuthera closer to promises of a new airport. The Deputy Prime Minister says shovels will be in the ground by late 2024. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
At the gateway to the Americas, on the picturesque island of Grand Bahama, a pioneering initiative is taking shape. Lucaya Solar Power Limited presents the $15 million Lucaya Solar Power Project, the first of its kind in the Bahamas' energy landscape. The state-of-the-art solar farm on the Fairfield and Devon sites spans just over 30 acres.
Welcome to Our News, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Friends, family, and political colleagues saying goodbye to former Deputy House Speaker Don Saunders. His foster father, Keith Cartwright, telling those in attendance his death has left many with a sense of emptiness and uncertainty. Bethany McDermott was there for the somber event and has this report.
The untimely passing of former Tall Pines Member of Parliament Don Saunders drawing politicians from both sides of the political divide to St. Agnes Church to say their final goodbye. In an emotional homily, rector of the St. Agnes Church, Father Keith Cartwright had the difficult task of memorializing not just another parishioner, but someone he called son. Cartwright said the pain of the horrific murder has left a sense of separation, emptiness, numbness, and uncertainty.
Today, dear people, we must come as a people of great hope and great certainty. Hope and certainty in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Now, in his humor-tinted tribute, his brother, Anthony Musgrove, reflected on his journey with Don from they were children all the way up to his time in politics.
Don, you continued with the social and political fight, never counting the cost. Although you would say to me time and time again, the political and social loads were heavy and demanding, but you never wavered.
Saunders was tragically gunned down in Gambier Village on March 27th. Prime Minister Philip Davis said he and Saunders shared a bond that went beyond Parliament.
As a member of St. Christopher's Church, I was able to witness firsthand Don's as a man of faith, witness firsthand his conviction, and witness firsthand his humility.
Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard adds Saunders lived an impactful life.
Don was a breath of fresh air. He was plenty man. And his voice made a difference.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
While an overflowing St. Agnes Church was the scene of the state-recognized funeral of former Tall Pines Member of Parliament Don Saunders that saw Father Keith Cartwright lash out at the crime problem and crooked politicians. The issue hit home for Cartwright as his son, whom he memorialized, was gunned down on March 27th in Gambier Village. Cartwright said while crime is not a political problem, he called on both sides of the political divide to come together to find a solution.
Crime is not the PLP's fault. It's not the FNM's fault. And I am tired of hearing it. You fellas blame each other all the time. This one blaming that one, the next one blaming that. You think we fooling? We ain't fool. You're only wasting precious time and people's money. Come together. Brave and Mike, come together for the sake of all.
Cartwright called on Bahamians to build better homes to raise children. He attributes this and children born out of wedlock to the high crime rate. But the tongue lashing didn't stop there. Cartwright said there needs to be more politicians like Don.
Far too many of us get into politics for the wrong reason. It is not for true service. If you ain't for that, then get out and stay out. We do not need greedy and crooked men and women at the helm of our nation.
A man was found dead in a pond at a popular Grand Bahama golf course this morning. The shocking discovery was made around 8 a.m. at the Reef Golf Course off Seahorse Road. Officers pulled the man's lifeless body from the water. He had no visible signs of injury. He was declared dead at the scene. An autopsy will determine the exact cause of death. An intelligence-led operation conducted by police and defense officers resulting in the arrest of 10 people overnight. During the operation, police found 32 pounds of marijuana worth $30,500. They also found 4 firearms, 3 high-powered guns and 1 handgun, and more than 290 rounds of ammunition. Officers from the Central Intelligence Branch, Operation Ceasefire, the Drug Enforcement Unit, and the K-9 units, and the Mobile Division executed multiple search warrants at several homes throughout New Providence, which resulted in the seizure of the illegal items. 9 men and 1 woman were arrested for possession of the drugs with the intent to supply, possession of firearms and ammunition, and possession of counterfeit currency. A 34-year-old American man is in hot water tonight after being found with suspected heroin. Officers from the Airport Division arrested the man from Indiana yesterday after 4 p.m. at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport. The Drug Enforcement Unit will conduct further investigations into this incident. Meantime, a man is facing charges after prosecutors say he struck a woman in the face last month. Prosecutors say Philip McPhee Jr. caused harm to Leah Knowles, an employee at the Office of the Prime Minister, on March 17th. McPhee denied the allegation at his arraignment before Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr. He was granted $1,500 bail and ordered to have no contact with Knowles as a condition of his release. His trial is set for June 3rd. Well, we've got lots more to come on this Friday evening, but first, Ian McKinsey joins us now from the Weather Center with your first look at temperatures. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Currently outside our studios, we're under mostly clear skies with a temperature of 77. Comfortable feels like of 71. Winds are from the east at 8 miles per hour. First look now at our satellite and radar imagery, where we continue to have mostly dry and pleasant conditions, and this is all courtesy of a high-pressure system that remains large and in charge. Stay tuned, your extended forecast is straight ahead.
Still to come on our news, airports on the way. Funding for several Family Island airports has been approved. The Deputy Prime Minister announcing the latest project today. Plus, more good news for Eleutherans as operations at Disney Cruise Line's project at Lighthouse Point slated to begin in the next 2 months. And later, international award-winning Goombay Kids is back on our TV this spring. We'll tell you everything you need to know about the upcoming season when our news returns.
Love you till I had enough. Do you want me now or later, 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 later? Listen to it all.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
It has approved funding for several Family Island airports. One of them is in North Eleuthera. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation Chester Cooper making the announcement at the Harbour Island Eleuthera Business Outlook this morning. Our Joshua Williams reports.
Much-needed infrastructural upgrades are on the way for the North Eleuthera Airport. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper announcing the government has approved funding for the project not only in Eleuthera but for other Family Islands.
This funding will be available by July 2024, and most importantly, North Eleuthera is a part of this plan.
Cooper also sharing plans have already been drawn up.
We have completed some versions of the renderings. We have gotten some public feedback, and we have now advanced those drawings to a level where they require final sign-off and viewing by the stakeholders here, and I expect that to be done within the next 30 days.
With several international airlines like American Airlines and Delta visiting the island frequently, Cooper says these upgrades are vital.
It is completely embarrassing to see the numbers of tourists standing in the sun and the elements, waiting to board their flights or coming off of their flights.
The Deputy Prime Minister also sharing that upgrades to the Governor's Harbour Airport, which include roof, terminal and parking lot upgrades, are 80% completed. As for when North Eleuthera will be completed,
the work on the airside aprons and taxiway runway is expected to commence by fourth quarter, beginning firstly next quarter with geotechnical studies with shovels in the ground by the fourth quarter. The works and the construction of a new terminal are slated to be completed towards the end of 2025, but we have a hard deadline of 2026 for reasons I believe that we are all aware.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks so much, Joshua. Well, Regional Director of Public Affairs for Disney Cruise Line, Joey Gaskins, says the Lighthouse Point project in South Eleuthera will begin operations in the next 2 months. The update coming during Eleuthera Business Outlook. Gaskins says the 900 acres of private property, of which only 16% will be developed, will benefit the local economy in more ways than one.
We intend to open, and our first sailing is on June 7th. So the first ship will arrive at Lighthouse Point alongside on June 7th, hoping that the weather and the seas are fine. 192 acres we give back to the government and the people of the Bahamas. 59% of that acreage will remain undeveloped and untouched. And at this point, I can confirm that although we committed to 16% development on the property, we are coming in at less than 16% development. So it is a very low impact development.
He's also highlighting the investment Disney is making in its human capital as mandated by their heads of agreement.
We were to ensure that a minimum of 120 Bahamians will be employed directly during the construction project, right? We were to create approximately 150 permanent, well-paying jobs for Bahamians once we went to operation. We were to offer employment positions to Bahamians that encompass the full breadth, right? So not just working on the beach, not just reception, but the full breadth of positions. We wanted to ensure that these employment opportunities for Bahamians were adequately publicized, right? We committed to providing health benefits, to developing and training professional programs, right? To assist in the development and implementation of courses of study, particularly around hospitality.
When Our News comes back from the break, an award-winning Bahamian series is back for a 4th season. We'll tell you more about the upcoming episodes to be featured right here on our TV.
Coming up in sports, we've got some big decisions from young Bahamian athletes. One goes to pro baseball, the other to a college basketball blue blood. Kentucky?
And then a local boys mentoring club on Grand Bahama hosting its 21st Building Boys is Better Than Mending Men Conference. The story when Our News returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Goombay Kids is set to return for Season 4 on Our TV, and the show's creator and executive producer, Stephanie Nihon, is reflecting on their amazing run so far. Season 3 of the show won multiple awards at the 2022 Cannes World Film Festival, including Best Producer and Best TV Series, as well as Best Series at an international film festival in Italy. Nihon explains what inspired her to start the show.
The inspiration for Goombay Kids really started when I was working alongside a CMM talent agency, and I was just so blown away by the young talent, well, all ages of talent, but the young talent especially at the time. And I really wanted to see some quality kids content that could help the Bahamas in general. And, you know, became such an inspiring project that it could include all ages and age groups, and a way to showcase our islands and our stories. So I thought a kids show was just perfect.
Prime Minister Philip Davis commending the founder of the Falcons Boys Club and Champs Mission, Pastor Darren Roll. This as the 21st Building Boys is Better Than Mending Men Boys Conference closed out in Grand Bahama yesterday. For 27 years, Roll has made a significant impact on young men through his mentoring program and the help of the corporate community. Davis shares what research over the past 2 years revealed as it relates to young men incarcerated at BDOCs.
An abused child, a hurting child, becomes a dangerous adult. And that finding mandates us, obligates us to interrupt between that abused child growing up to become that dangerous adult. And interventions such as this is illustrative of what we need to do and continue to do.
While another young man signs a professional baseball contract for a Major League Baseball club, and AJ Store is headed to Kansas. Here now with Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors is Ronaldo Dorset and John Mark Nutt. Ronaldo.
Thanks, Megan, and welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. It was a day of celebration for Rashawn Pinder and his family as a lifelong baseball dream came to fruition. The 16-year-old outfielder made it official with the Texas Rangers yesterday at his signing ceremony at the Andre Rogers National Stadium.
It is a dream come true to wear the Rangers uniform and represent the team of my dreams. I am eager to work tirelessly, both on and off the field, to ensure victory.
Pinder is the third prospect out of the I-League Academy to sign with a Major League club in 2024, following Bohan Adderley of the New York Mets and Javado Bain Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Today is not the end goal of your career. Your end goal's got to be playing in the major leagues, winning a World Series with the team, being a contributor, making this country proud, making your family proud, and making it to the next level.
Pinder will report to the Dominican Republic to join the organization in preseason rookie camp.
It came down to the final match in doubles play, but Team Bahamas ultimately fell to Team USA in Junior Davis Cup play. In the first singles match, Jackson Matarik lost 6-2, 6-2 to USA Kenton Hans, but Gerald Carroll evened it up for the Bahamas when he won 6-4, 1-0 after Caro and Gunier retired in the second set. In doubles play, Matarik and Carroll lost 6-2, 6-4 to Hans and Jack scored. The Bahamas will face Mexico in the next tie.
One of the most sought-after prospects in the NCAA transfer portal, AJ Store made a decision on his next program. He's headed to Lawrence, Kansas. Store officially announced his decision yesterday via social media and will join Bill Self and the Big 12 powerhouse next fall. Last season, he led Wisconsin in scoring at 16.8 points per game, highlighted by a 22-point per game run in the Big Ten tournament. A four-star recruit out of the IMG Academy, Store began his collegiate career at St. John's, where he was named to the Big East All-Freshman team. He made his national team debut for the Bahamas last summer in exhibition play against the Jayhawks prior to the Olympic pre-qualifiers in August.
The Bahamas basketball junior men conducted the first tryout under new head coach Jay Philippe. Philippe hosted a group of under 17 hopefuls yesterday in Grand Bahama. Trials will also be hosted in Abaco and New Providence. The Bahamas Youth Flag Football League will host its second annual high school tournament tomorrow. 10 teams will participate in the event from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the multi-purpose fields adjacent to the original Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. World Athletics mascot Bingo is not only promoting next month's event, but promoting pet safety awareness.
You know how we like to end the week? It's the 10YS Top Plays. Coming in at number 5, free Bingo till it's backwards. He escaped the Humane Society just in time to get ready for the World Relays.
Hashtag where's Bingo. At number 4, We used to buddy with the shot, but how about buddy with the dish?
At number 3, Ferron Charlton continues to make insane plays like this look routine for Florida Memorial.
At number 2, base runners are not safe when Chavez Young is around. Guy's got a cannon.
Coming in at number 1, no one beats us on the Women's Chinese Basketball Association beat. JJ showing off the hops twice. That'll do it for our sports, presented by 10th year seniors. For John Mark Nutt, I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News Tonight, brunching at the Bay. Our Danielle Miller takes you inside the capital's newest brunch spot, promising good food and good times. Ian McKinsey is back in the Weather Center to help you plan all of your outdoor weekend activities when Our News returns.
I wanna love you till I had enough. Do you want me now or later, 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 later? Listen to it
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome back to Our News. Beautiful weather today to kick off the weekend. As to what you can expect over the weekend, weather-wise, well, Ian McKinsey is back with your extended forecast.
Thanks, Megan. Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look now at your extended forecast. Across our area, again, high pressure remain the dominant weather feature. And by the way, as we approach hurricane season, the dry season is the time to prepare. So get those roofs in order. Boating forecast for the northwest and central islands, winds will be east to southeast at 10 knots or less, seas 1 to 3, but up to 5 feet offshore in those lingering swells. Low tide at 12:18 tomorrow morning, high tide at 6:22 tomorrow morning. The southeast Bahamas, we have a caution in effect with those swells, winds easterly 15 knots, seas 3 to 5, but up to 6 feet offshore. Here's a look at your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, comfortable, mild conditions will persist straight into next week. We're looking at those high temperatures hovering around the low 80s to mid 80s, bumping up a bit by the end of next week, with your low temperatures comfortable upper 60s, low 70s. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Looking for a brunch spot on Sundays? Well, our Danielle Miller is your official guide to good food and fun. Tonight, she continues her For the Love of Brunch series and features the newest brunch spot in town.
We are here at the Bay Restaurant and Bar, giving you a different type of brunching experience.
Every Sunday, the Bay hosts Whipped Cream Sundays, where you can get a variety of your favorite brunch items and bottomless mimosas before 5 p.m. We got the privilege to try some of their best sellers, from the fluffy pancakes to the crisp waffles, the perfectly battered wings, shrimp and grits that made you dance, and the delectable conch chowder. I'm not exaggerating. Everything was divine. My cameraman Ray can attest to it. Whether you're dining at a table, in one of the VIP booths, or at the floating bar, the Bay family told me they are committed to serving up a new way to brunch. But the experience wasn't over yet. They've arranged for popular personalities to host and in some cases perform at the all-day brunch event. Last week Sunday, Jamaican reggae artist Stock Ashley was the special guest. I'll say, this is the latest brunch I've attended, but I had fun. For more information, follow the Bay on social media and follow Our News Bahamas for more of our For the Love of Brunch series. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle. Definitely adding that to my list of places to try. And thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a safe and wonderful Friday evening.